What's up guys, welcome to our first project, and today we're going to create this project, and I call it smoked guy, but you can call it anything you want. I just call it the first thing that comes to my mind, so just give it any name. And this is actually pretty easy to make, and you will find all the needed files, so photos that you need to use in order to create this project. You will find them in the project files. Okay, let's start. So first of all, we need to create a new project, so just go to Photoshop and create new. Okay, now we need to name him. Okay, let's just name him smoked guy or whatever, smoked head maybe, I don't know, anything. And what we're going to do, width 1000 and height 1250 pixels, orientation is like this, the resolution is 300, color mode RGB, 8 bit, and that's all. We can start. Let's press create. Okay, now we just have to wait until it loads. Come on. Okay, and while it loads, I'm going to show you the photos that we're going to use. So we're going to use a picture of this guy, this one here, and we're going to replace his head with the smoke. Let's see if the project is created. Yep. Okay, perfect. So now first thing we need to do is we need to take this file here and place it into Photoshop. Okay, now we need to make it bigger, so we don't need these white spaces here, so we hold shift and drag, and then we go to this corner, we hold shift and drag again. That's it. And now we can press OK here. Now let's go and delete this white background layer, we don't need it. Okay, the next image we need is actually let me show you this one. So this smoke, let me just place it in Photoshop as well. Okay, first of all we need to rotate it, so we can go here and we can write here 180. As you can see, it's 180 degrees rotated, and let's move it a little bit up. We also have to increase the size, so let's hold shift and make it bigger. Yeah, like this. Let's just press OK for now. Okay, first thing we need to do is we need to remove all the white space, all the white colors, so we only need the smoke to be here. So that's why we should turn off this picture, the picture of the guy. And what we should do, we should go to select and color range, and make sure you have this layer clicked here, selected. So we go to select color range, and when we do that, we can actually select all the white colors. So we just press on the white places. As you can see, now I have here white, everything selected, and black, the parts that are not selected. And if you don't see it like red and white, you can go to selection preview and choose here quick mask in order to see it red and white. So everything red is not selected, everything colored is selected. Basically the white part is selected now, but what we need, actually we need to invert the selection, because we need the smoke to be selected and white to be out of selection. So we can press here invert. As you can see, it's inverted now. Now we have only the smoke selected. And you can also play with fuzziness to make the selection bigger or smaller. Okay, yeah, like this should be good enough. Let's just press OK. And now we can press here this create mask button. As you can see, we have removed all the white parts, and now if we turn off the background layer, we don't see the white parts anymore. Okay, perfect. Now let's put this a little bit higher. Okay, now we also need to increase the size of this layer. So what we should do, we should go to edit, and here we have free transform, also Ctrl T or Command T for Mac. And let's press it, and now we hold shift again, and we should make it bigger like this, a little bit higher. Okay, perfect. Now let's just press OK. So what I want you to do now is I want you to remove these empty places, as you can see here. So let's just zoom in a little bit. In order to zoom in or zoom out from our image, just to remind you, we can hold on Mac, you can just use the touchpad to get closer or get further away. For Windows, you can hold Ctrl and space, and then you get this zoom button. And then when you hold Ctrl and space together, you can press the left button on the mouse. If you press and move it right, it gets closer. If you press and move it left, it gets further away. So just get closer. And here we can see these empty places. What we should do, we should take our brush, so the normal brush tool. Then we should make sure here we have white color selected. So let's just if you press here, the white and black colors are changed. So we have here we have now white color, and make sure let's make our brush a little bit bigger, so we can go here and increase the size, or you can use the hotkeys like the brackets, small, close and open brackets that I showed you in previous lessons to make the size bigger or smaller. And now if you color, as you can see, we're getting rid of these empty places. Okay, also what we should do, we should make the hardness 0. Yeah, now it's much better. Yep, like this should be fine. Now we can hold shift, space I mean, in order to get this hand tool, and then now we can press and drag so we can go up and also make sure everything is perfect here as well. So it doesn't need to be 100% like perfect, we just make sure it's okay. Okay, now we can continue. So as you can see here we have different colors for our smoke. So how can we do that? We can actually use this tool here. Let's just press here and choose here hue saturation, and when we have hue saturation on, if you go to our layers panel, as you can see, the hue saturation layer is going after this layer. So if you press twice here to open it again, now we can play with it. As you can see, the colors are changing, but also the colors of the t-shirt are changing a little bit as well, in order to make sure that this effect, this adjustment layer, is only working on this film, on this smoke. So what we should do, we should press here. If we press that, now let's go to layers. As you can see now, this adjustment layer is connected only to this layer, so it affects only this layer, it doesn't affect this layer anymore. Okay, now let's press twice again on it, and if we change, as you can see, the colors are changing. So let's say, okay, this is the effect that we got, and if we turn it off, we press here, this color, this I button, as you can see, this is the original, and this is the effect. So what we can actually do, let's also make the saturation a little bit higher. What we can do now, let's choose layers. Okay, and let's choose the mask now. Make sure you have the mask chosen. We should go to gradient here, and when we choose our gradient, we can see here black and white gradient appear automatically. If you don't have black and white gradient, you can press here and choose the first one, which is black and white. Also make sure you have this selected, and mode is normal, opacity 100%. And now when we have this mask selected, we can just press and drag, and as you can see what happens here we have now gradient on our mask, which is white and black. That means everything that the places that are black, we don't see the effect there. The places that are white, we can see the adjustments, the effect there. So we can just change it. If you want, you can press and drag again, or if you can press and drag in different direction to make the colors different. So now as you can see, we affect only this part because the mask white is only here, so we affect only this part of our layer. So if I change the color, as you can see, only the upper part of our smoke is affected. So we can choose now the color that we want. Let's say we want this color. Okay, perfect. Let's continue now. Let's go now to our smoke's mask. Let's press it and choose the brush tool. Now we can choose our black color, so we just change it. If you don't have here white and black, you can press here. This brings back the default colors. It also had the hotkey D, which brings back the default colors, and then you can change between them with this also has a hotkey, which is X I mean. Okay, let's make this brush a little bigger, and I want now a black, so I just change them. So black is my main color now, and now when I start, as you can see, the smoke is disappearing because here we have our mask selected and I'm painting with black. That means the smoke is going away. Okay, that's perfect. What we should do now is, now I want you to bring here this pattern. Okay, how can we do that? We will use another image, and you will be able to find it as well in the project files. So it's actually a pattern, this one, and we can just place it here. Okay, now let's place it a little bit down to make sure it's on his t-shirt only, and let's press OK for now. Now let's turn off this photo. Okay, now as you can see, we have a problem here actually. The problem is that, as you can see now what happened, now this layer is under this adjustment layer. That means this adjustment layer is no more affecting our smoke, it's affecting only this layer here. So for example, if I go and change the colors, as you can see, only these colors are changing. So in order to make sure everything is alright, what we should do, we should bring this down. Now as you can see, our adjustment layer has lost its link with this layer, so we should go back here, and then we should press this again and make sure it's all right. Okay, as you can see now, the adjustment layer is again linked only with this layer. Perfect. Okay, and now we can play with it, we can change it. Yeah, and as you can see, it works perfectly fine again. For you it may be a little bit different because I made a mistake when I did put my image here. So what was the mistake? Actually, let me show you so you can avoid the mistake. Let me delete this layer. So let's see, I had this layer selected. That's why when I put my image here, my image automatically went after this layer. But if I had this layer selected, then my image would be between this layer and this layer. That means it wouldn't be under the adjustment layer. So if I put it here now, okay, as you can see, it's now here. That means this is affecting only this layer and not this layer. Let's just move it back again here and press OK. Perfect. Now we should turn this off. We also have to make a selection of his t-shirt, so we can put this layer only in his t-shirt. So let's select this image here and go to quick selection tool, and let's just press here once, twice. Okay, and as you can see, we already selected his t-shirt. And let's go back to this layer, turn it on, and let's press now on mask. As you can see, the mask is only affected these places. Okay, so what we should do now I want you to select the first move tool. Okay, so let's go to this layer and bring the opacity a little bit down. More. Perfect. Why did we do that? So now I can see the empty places that we have here. So now we should zoom in to these empty places. We should press on this mask, on the mask of our pattern. We should take our brush again, and now we have to make it a little bit smaller, and we have to, okay, and when you color with your brush, make sure you have opacity and flow here 100 and 100%, both of them. So if you have any mistakes, just make sure that all the numbers are the same as mine, or all the names. For example, mode is normal, and you will avoid these mistakes. Okay, so what we should do now is we should make sure our hardness is 0. Perfect. And now we can color here. So what does that do? Nothing, like we don't see a lot of changes, but what happens actually, if I make this 100% again, as you can see, now we have here empty place, but before this was colored. I want to make sure we don't put the pattern on empty places. We have to put the pattern only on t-shirt. So let's just make sure the mask is alright. And here we have also to, oops, I mean to delete this part here. Yep, like this thing. And here as well, a little bit. Okay. Now if we opacity make it normal, as you can see here, we have these empty places, and it looks better now. Now what we should do, actually, we should play with this. We should select again this image here, and we should play with different combinations. So for example, if I select multiply here, now this layer is multiplied onto this layer, and that's why it has changed its view, like the way it looks. So maybe we should just look for different ones. Color burn, nope. Darken layer, nope. I want to find this effect. Maybe let's try overlay. Okay, yeah, I think that's the effect that I was looking for. So how did I find it? I was just, when I was creating this project, I was just moving between these effects and seeing which one fits best. You can also choose actually a different one. Maybe maybe you like this one, not the one that I chose. So you can just choose any effect that you want to choose. Perfect. And I can actually say that we're almost done with this project, but there's actually one more thing left. As you can see, here we have the shadow coming behind of this film. So how are we going to do that? I will explain to you that during our next lesson.